Hello, everyone. This is Heather Leigh. I'm here to discuss this month's haunted histories, and we are going to be covering the St. Augustine Lighthouse. For those of you who don't know or didn't realize, we are shifting focus, and even though I still may cover some locations in Nevada, I am focusing on some other locations throughout the country and possibly around the world that have unique histories and a lot of paranormal activity. As you guys know, I thrive to research the paranormal activity and the history behind why it's happening. Again, thank you to the Henderson Libraries for having me do this. I'm sorry I'm a little late on this one today, but I hope you guys still enjoy it. And I look forward to continuing this program with you guys once a month. Okay, let's get started. Okay. The history of the St. Augustine Lighthouse. It's a unique history. I've been there a couple times. Beautiful place to go. It was originally the first reference of the lighthouse. It really wasn't a lighthouse. It was more of a watchtower. Italian cartographer. He published his map. Basically, it was on the raid of Sir Francis Drake that the map was published in 1589, but the raid happened 3 years prior. And this was the first reference of a watchtower being in the area. Between 1731 and 1762, this watchtower was eventually replaced by the Spanish, who created a new watchtower. It's still considered a watchtower at the time, made of shell rock, and wood. Previously, it was just built out of wood, so this one was a more sturdier structure, and it was designed to keep watch for pirate attacks, as well as when the Civil War occurred, it was used to distract Union deliveries as well as support the Confederate efforts. The actual St. Augustine Lighthouse was the first of its kind that was built in Florida by the new American government. Because actually Florida, has a real strange history. You have the pirates, the privateers, investors, people wanting to live in warmer climates. We also have the native population that was here. It was basically a maze of commercial trade routes. So they felt that a lighthouse was needed to let people know when they were getting closer to the shoreline, and also as a way of keeping watch on the waters to protect the community of St. Augustine from attacks. St. Augustine at the time was the capital of East Florida and was home to several Spanish residents who fled Cuba. When it first started, the settlement had about 500 homes. Then from there, several people started making their way to Florida, which maybe, I should have written it down. I didn't even think of it. But as people started coming here, the population of St. Augustine quickly rose to the thousands and then to the tens of thousands. Between 1822 and 1867, that watchtower, which I had mentioned, had evolved into the lighthouse using a system of lamps and reflector panels. And I had mentioned also that the Confederate sympathizers, they used the watchtower, and what they ended up doing is they removed the reflector panels, so that way it kind of distracted and discouraged Union deliveries and shipments from occurring. A suspicious fire had gutted the entire it was vacated at the time, but it was the keeper's house. It was deemed that it wasn't necessary, so it was no longer being used, but it was just weird that a fire had gone through that whole area in 1980. Because of that fire and other basically not needing the lighthouse anymore, it was on the list to get bulldozed and turned into condominiums and other residential properties. However, the Union Service League stepped in. They raised millions of dollars, hands-on projects, completely restored the property to what it is today, and they also opened the Maritime Museum. As always, the question we get is the lighthouse haunted? Actually, St. Augustine Lighthouse is one of the most haunted locations in Florida, if not in the entire world. Several call this lighthouse the Mona Lisa of haunted houses. It truly lives up to that name. I mean, you can't go day or night to that location without experiencing something paranormal or some type of strange occurrences. One of the most famous stories was when the lighthouse was being built. The actual overseer of the structure's construction, him and his children would go to the site together often. While he worked, his restless children would play around on the property. And there was a tragic event that happened on July 10th, 1873. His kids were playing on a work cart, which had toppled over and crashed into the coast. His two eldest children, Mary and Eliza, were on that cart, and they both had drowned. Several have reported seeing these playful spirits playing around the lighthouse. They've also had locked doors suddenly unlock and open. Unseen forces have touched many guests while doing tours. And visitors have reported seeing ghostly kids, including a young girl dressed in period clothing, looking out the windows. This spirit is very charming and polite with visitors. But unfortunately, when you have a charming ghost, you also have a bad ghost sometimes. The terrifying spirit, called the Man in Blue, appears to the workers to harass them. It is believed to be a spirit of an old lightkeeper who died from a fall while he was painting the tower in 1859. And then there's another spirit of a keeper who goes around continuing with his duties, but it's reportedly that he hung himself in the tower, and he appears throughout the tower, as well as you can smell the scent of cigar smoke filling the tower's landing, which is the same, people say it's the same brand that this particular lightkeeper smoked. Other strange occurrences include hearing footsteps, seeing light anomalies, hearing disembodied voices, and seeing shadows darting through the rooms and up the tower's staircase. Okay, if you want to visit the St. Augustine Lighthouse, here's some information. You can go to the St. Augustine Lighthouse and Maritime Museum Visitor Center's website. Also, Visit St. Augustine has several pages about the lighthouse, including the one that I have listed there. These are photos from Visit St. Augustine. You can see the spiral staircase going up to the top, as well as some of the innkeepers' homes and buildings. Okay, our next presentation is going to be the Queen Mary. We are going to discuss the history, the haunted history, and also current occurrences that are expected. And also, I may talk about, once I get some more information on it, some of the things regarding the future of the Queen Mary. Okay, here's my profile. If you guys are interested, you can follow me on Facebook at Dr. Heather Leigh or Exploration Paranormal. My book, Haunted in the Southern Nevada Ghost Towns, should be coming out in August 2022. And I'm also working on a new book, which is going to be Legends, Lore, and Ghosts of the Vegas Valley. So thank you again for joining us. And thank you, Henderson Libraries, for having me do this. And we will see you next month with our next presentation about the Queen Mary. Thank you all, and you guys have a great day.